Welcome to the Hustlewing podcast. Today we are joined by Ian, CEO and founder of Phalanx. Hi there, Ian. How are you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me on.
It is a pleasure. Before we get into the conversation, please do tell us more about the work that you guys do at Phalanx.
Yeah, so we're a data security startup. So we've created a platform and a product that organizations are able to understand where all the documents live across their workforce. So that means either on their desktops or in the cloud. And we provide an automatic way to secure that while also letting their leaders understand what the cyber risk is at any given point.
Sure. When I was reading about Phalanx, and what caught my eye more especially was the fact that, your offering is just dedicated to cybersecurity. And I think oftentimes when we're talking about the disruption that's happening online due to, the emerging digital technologies, there's been quite how do I put this? Quite anxiety around cybersecurity. Since you guys started, would you say that there's been, an increase in demand for cybersecurity?
Yeah, so I mean, it's unfortunate that there's always attacks, but for us, it's it's not necessary. It's good for business, but I mean, there's always a need, and the thing is, the attackers are always changing their strategies. So for us, driving innovative solutions, we're always trying to stay slightly ahead by adapting as well.
Sure. Let's talk about some of those solutions. If I'm thinking about, if I'm a business and I'm thinking about securing my data, what sort of processes and systems do you guys have in place, or at least what are some of the processes that go behind, the solutions that you guys create and develop?
Yeah, so I would say the biggest thing is just understanding what cyber assets you even have. So that could look like if you are a business that has like an office, for example, you'll likely have some sort of network associated with that, or what devices do you have, like laptops, or do you have various cloud drives, and that also includes the people as well and the employees, because every employee also represents a number a level of cyber risk. So actually, most attacks happen because people. So we're the weakest link as it relates to cybersecurity. So really, we want to start with all of those things and determine what do you have protecting that. I think what a lot of people usually do is they say, "Well, I got an antivirus and I have a firewall," just because they hear those things a lot, or I got a VPN and an antivirus, so I should be good. But often that'll just be protecting one thing multiple times instead of protecting all of your thing one time. And that's what we're focused on, specifically the unstructured data and documents. But if you have a database, you want something on that. If you have some machinery, you want something on that. So it really is like, step one is figure out what you even have, and then step two is try to map solutions to that.
Mm. What are some of the extremes? I mean, we see a lot of television shows around hacking and businesses losing data, those kind of things. If you can sort of maybe give us examples of some of the cases that you guys have dealt with, so that maybe we have just an idea of what that actual work looks like, and the kind of protection, really.
Yeah, so I mean, for us, we are very dedicated to being a cybersecurity product. We're venture backed, and so like we are focused on selling our specific Phalanx Muse product. But there is a lot of other services that go into cybersecurity that we don't specifically touch. But those are the ones that would likely have more direct interaction with remediation after a breach. We're really focused on the front end of actual securing the data in the case of a breach, and to mitigate the risk of that. So, for example, if someone were to get in, often once you have, like, let's say, a firewall or other cyber tools that you're buying, what that usually looks like in the physical world is essentially having a your front door of your office locked. But if someone gets through that front door, then they can log into all your laptops, open all your internal offices, open all your drawers, which in the real world is would be ridiculous if that was your security posture. But often that's what our data security posture looks like. So we're trying to put locks on other doors once you get in that front door. But that being said, that's how a lot of attacks happen. And again, going
Mm,
back to the human aspect, usually starts the phishing link, right? Maybe somebody was tired, maybe an attacker, just changed their strategy and it's looking really real. But often it just starts with somebody accidentally doing, or maybe actually a lot of times, a lot of the big ones, someone misconfigured a server. So it's just like someone made an accident, and then that allows people to get in. And ultimately, that's
mm,
because when your whole defense is all about trying to keep people out, you're going to fail at this point. That's a strategy that worked, 20 years ago, but now it's not really, it doesn't really work anymore.
mm.
But that's where a lot of those breaches come from, is that people haven't adapted to a newer style of cyber strategy.
Sure. It sounds like me that there's quite a lot of, quite a bit of a rigorous technical process that goes, behind some of the solutions that you create and you sort of work with, especially for some of the businesses that you guys are in partnership with. The audience here for hustling is mostly side hustlers and contract workers, right? And I'm interested in finding out two things. Would you guys have any projects, for contract workers that are interested in plugging in, or do you guys maybe even have challenges, where you guys could see yourself, leveraging some contract work from some of our network?
Yeah, so the biggest one, and we're in the process of raising some more additional capital to fuel this actually, is for growth. So we found, the product is complete. We have initial customers, and we're finding that our biggest challenge is just reaching more people with the product to service them. So in the coming months, we'll be ramping up on mostly marketing, I would say at this point, with a little bit of sales work as well. But for the most part, it's going to be a big focus on marketing.
So it's marketing. Got you there. I'm interested in how the platform, I mean, it has been received. I mean, you talk about, obviously now that you've just mentioned that growth is something that you guys are looking into, but I'm interested in your numbers, or maybe in just your success so far. Because I mean, as I said, I think cybersecurity, especially in this day and age where most of folks are working online, most companies are operating online, there must be some kind of traction and success there and mileage.
Yeah, so we're finding a lot we're actually in the managed service space. So we do sell direct to customers. Usually, financial services or defense contractors are very interested in what we have to offer, because a lot of the existing solutions are very painful to deal with. And we're very lightweight. The whole thing was designed, and for us actually, the whole thing was designed around the human experience, because again, the humans are the weakest link. So we wanted to build a solution that um, essentially lets humans be human, because the reality is most security solutions start with like, hey, cyber should be this, and then it's like, okay, employees, just do that, and then everyone goes, well, this, I can't do my own job. So we were like, what are people doing for their jobs, and how do we build security around that? um, so we're finding that in, the financial services sector and the government contracting sector is roughly where um, there's enough of a pain that they're like, they're looking for something else, and then enough of an external pressure that again drives that need. Um, and yeah, so for the most part, we're targeting mid market for direct sales, but we have actually partnered with a number of managed service providers as channel partners, and we found that because we're enabling their businesses, because we offer a class of data security called data loss prevention. And traditionally, that's super expensive, takes hours to set up, even more hours to manage, and doesn't really work with their business models because they service small businesses. Um, but with us, because we're low configuration, very lightweight, easy to get up and running, and don't require maintenance, it's something that really enables those businesses. So actually, in a lot of I know a number of people that actually, as their side hustle, second business, are doing managed services for some small businesses, and so actually this would be a great thing to consider as well as a platform. Again, we partner with a ton of them so they can service their clients, and we so far have seen us as a business enabler for them to be a discriminator, say, hey, there's 500 different managed service providers out there. What makes you different? And they're like, well, we can offer you data loss prevention through Phalanx, whereas the other ones can't. So
Mm.
it's been great from that perspective too.
Sure. Ian, for folks at home who might be interested in, reaching out for some of those opportunities, or maybe just want to learn more about the product and the solution, where can they find Phalanx online?
Yeah, so Phalanx.io is our website. Also, if we recently had a TechCrunch press coverage, so if you just Google TechCrunch Phalanx, you'll also find us as the first hit. But yeah, those are probably the best spots to reach out, or info@phalanx.io if you want to send an email, or definitely hit me up on LinkedIn. Happy to contact anyone there too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ian, for your time.
Yeah, definitely, really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Bye.